Hello again, family. My name is Chris. I am your home gamer dad, and welcome back to Wraith and the Giants, a game by Scott Alms, part of the Solo Hero series from Renegade Games. Last time, we did a full tutorial of the game where our current Wraith, I don't think I mentioned it in the actual tutorial, but in my mind, the storyline was she was having a vision of her grandmother fighting the Earth Giant at that age to kind of teach her the ropes and everything. And then all of a sudden she came out of it and a new giant attacked her town, and that was the Water Giant. So we had the tutorial where she fought the Earth Giant right here, and then as a young Wraith, we fought the Water Giant. Now we are 23 years later, and a brand new menace has awoken in order to threaten her village, the world itself, and as an adult Wraith, we must now use our new powers, our upgraded abilities, our new skills right here in order to be able to vanquish the windy beast right here. Let's go ahead and read up about how things are going for them within their backstories, and then we'll get this rolling. The Adult Wraith. The giants will fall. You will make sure of it. Using all the strength and agility your forebears passed on to you, along with the examples grandmother left for her ordeals, you will not let these monstrous titans succeed. Over the years you have trained and steeled yourself in her shadow, and the future of the village relies on everything you have learned up to this point. Grandmother did not leave you with just her skills and some teachable moments. She passed on to you the enhanced senses, endurance, and the agility of the Wraith. When you need to, you can take a leap of faith and seemingly walk on the wind itself. See to the end of the horizon as sharp as an eagle, and watch bruises and minor scrapes disappear with but a single moment of rest. When you took on the mantle of Wraith, you also picked up the enhanced blade and bow that served as the tools of your trade. No matter all the threats to your people you have felled in the past, this battle against the giants will be the toughest. You will defeat them. You must. The Air Giant. There's little in this world that comes on as suddenly to terrify the masses as a tornado or the looming wall of debris and destruction at the edge of a hurricane, and the Air Giant is more destructive than both. It is a frightening mixture of swirling dust, detritus, uproot trees, and the battered bodies of all those who were not fast enough to avoid its path. Unlike the other giants that rise and plague the world, the Air Giant is not completely solid. Made from wind itself, it takes form as a thunderstorm containing lightning, thunder, and everything the beast has swept up into its body. Its limbs are merely extensions of its tumulate, forming legs despite not needing them, and arms for nothing short of annihilating anything it touches. We got ourselves a bunch of new powers here to try out against a very formidable opponent right here. Now, just like with the Water Giant, we're going to go ahead and do the Footholds expansion as well for this. Let me just grab these as I mess them up a little bit. Do the standard shuffling around, and then I'm just going to grab this one right here. And instead of doing all four, I'm actually just going to grab three. Let me grab those tokens. Hold on. I don't want to go too crazy here. So right now, the three that are, you go from top to bottom with this. So B2, this guy's all over the place. So B2's right here as one of those treacherous footholds. D2, which is right here, and C2. All of the twos apparently are footholds. E2, A4, and A6 are also ones if you kept going. If I happen to end my movement on one of these, I would move to an adjacent foothold, then shuffle your hand into your deck. At the start of your next turn, draw 4 cards. I think that's a misprint, because the only time Wraith ever draws cards, outside of a card specifically telling her to do it, is during the refresh phase. So at the end of the refresh phase, she draws up to her hand limits of 5. At the start of your next turn, draw 4 cards. That's not a bad thing. That's put extra cards into Wraith's hand that she doesn't need, but she doesn't have to keep drawing, and it gives her more options. I feel like this is supposed to be, I'm only allowed to draw, like if I move into it, all my cards are blown away immediately, so I am dead in the water at that point. And then instead of drawing 5 cards during the refresh step, I only draw 4. So that's actually what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to interpret this, because it's just, I don't know. I don't think that's what they meant when they put that in there. Of course, if any of the designers or anyone out there want to correct me on that, by all means, I might be just making this harder for myself, but we will see. Also, the rage track goes up 1 as well. So we got that right there. So we got our treacherous foothold right going. Let's go ahead. I've already shuffled this up regularly. Took out the 5 cards that I was supposed to, as I talked about in the tutorial in Grandma's flashback. And we have a passive right there. Got an air thing right there. When revealed, that's good. We don't have to deal with that because it doesn't happen on the on when you're putting down the cards. And there we go. If anywhere. Oh, that's fun. So that's going to hit me no matter where it is. Okay, so this is only this. What do we got? All right, so the 5 that we have up here, we have any D spot, and this is if anywhere, so I'm definitely getting hit. And a lot of this is knocking me off my footholds, which makes sense. It's a thing of wind. You can't really grab on anything. The weak point is E1 here, always activated. You must discard all but 1 card from your hand before refilling. Oh, see, so no matter what, I'm being this. There you go. This is a big cycling deck as well. Cycling powers, footholds, and cycling. E2 is a weak point for this one. A5, this has a when reveal, but I'm not going to worry about that because this is already revealed. And a B1. So no C in this, 2 E's. So I got to see about getting myself up there as fast as I can. Playing as the Adult Wraith, we actually have a 7 wound limit this time instead of 9, and grant the giant 15 health. That is wildly crazy. It gets even higher when we get to the next level for the Wraith. So this 15 is added to the Air Giant's health, which is 40, giving us 55 total wounds that we need to deal to this thing in order to defeat it. It has a scar limit of 4, which is hard to see there because of his coloring and everything. It kind of fades right into the back, but 4 scars to immediately defeat him, or 55 health. But our Wraith has some additional abilities. What we have here are 5 skills, and as you can see here, it says 3 wounds, 4 wounds, 5 wounds, 6, and 7. Basically, I'm going to go ahead, after I'm done explaining this, and take those wounds from the Air Giant and start filling these in with the set amount of wounds. Whenever I deal damage to one of the cards, I would remove the wounds from these spots first, and I can remove them in any order in any way. So if I did like 5 damage, I could take all 5 from this column, or 2 from here, and 3 from here, or 1 from each, etc. along that ways. And as soon as a pile is completely empty, then these special abilities trigger. And that little story I read for her basically says that she's learning these abilities. For 3 wounds, we can Leap of Faith, move to any foothold or to the ground. It's like a quick jump, get wherever we need to. 4 wounds does a Moment of Rest. Draw up to an additional 3 cards into your hand. Very nice to have. And remember, during your refresh step, you can only draw up to 5. If you have more, you don't draw, but hey, more cards are never a bad thing. Opportune Strike for 5 wounds. Move 2 wounds from the Giant's pool, not on a skull pool, so not anything from up here, to any Giant card. Really good way to do some quick damage. Patch wounds, remove 2 wounds from the Wraith, which is nice because I only have 7 health. And then the broken one that you have to be really set up in order to do, Force Back. This round, the first Giant card does not attack and a new Giant card isn't drawn. Basically, you're stunning the Giant for the entire turn if you manage to do 7 wounds worth of damage, which is not an easy thing by any stretch of the matter, especially early game. She also has her fearless actions the same as she did when she was younger, and that's 1/1/1, each costing 1 wound to do. All right, there we go. I have stacked all the wounds. I have taken them from the wound pile over here from the Giant. It looks a lot less, but trust me, it's still all the same amount for sure. And now we'll take Adult Wraith's deck. We'll give this just one last little quick shuffle up that way just to kind of mix things up a little bit. Not that I really know or have any idea of what a good card from this is going to be. Like, you get them in whatever order you get them, and you just work your best way in order to build out your skills and figure out the best way to tackle the Giant. We got a strong swing, so we like swinging swords. Another sword swing, a medium blade that time. We got a Firestorm, which is the burst attack. Hide, which is a very interesting card that I'm curious about, that I have to read a little bit more on, and these skilled shots. So unfortunately, we don't really have a lot of movement other than the momentum blade right here. The hide ability is move a number of cards equal to your brain value from the Giant's row to the bottom of the Giant deck. Remove their wound tokens from the game. I've been told that what you could do on this is you actually lower the Giant's cards up top. Like when you remove it to the bottom, it doesn't exactly get replaced. It's just always a 1 card thing that refills it. So if you take 1 card and put it on the bottom, now the row is 4. You're only ever now refilling 4 cards whenever you're fighting with a Giant. it just doesn't make any sense to me, because if you had 5 or more brain things in a row, which is possible, this card would completely get rid of all of them, and then you would never have anything with the giant. So I don't know. The way I interpret this is like a 1-round thing. Like, you put it down, you get rid of a card that you don't want to see, and then next turn 2 come out. I don't know. We'll figure that out along the way. If I choose to use it or not, I may not. So with our Wraith, sadly, movement is quite limited right now, especially because of the fact that I have my bad footholds over here by these numbers. I think I'm just going to start down here, and maybe we'll start making our way up the center of the giant, get up as far as we can to the top in order to take down any of the weak points up there. I actually want to try to get to A5 soon, because that's pretty far down the line, and if I can defeat that, 9 health, that's pretty good. I think that's one of the lower health cards in the Air Giant's deck. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Hide. That'll be my first action right here. And again, this says, move a number of cards equal to your brain value from the Giant's row to the bottom of the Giant's deck. Remove the wound tokens from the game. So basically, any wounds that you did on the card are gone. It's not like they're going back onto it at all, but you're taking a card out of the Giant's row up here. So like this, for example, this one always activated ability. I'm going to get rid of this. So I'm going to choose to move this right here, and that's it. So now that's gone. Is this now a blank space? Like, nothing goes here now, I would assume. So whenever things shift, it just kind of moves over. It's very unclear in terms of how this card is supposed to function. Because again, yes, maybe now for here on out, it would just be 4 cards that I'd have to deal with for the Air Giant. But say I had 3 of those brains in that row, I get rid of 1, 2, 3. Am I down then to just 2 cards of the Giant every turn? Which is great, but is also annoying because everything's constantly cycling so fast, you don't have any time in order to hit whatever it needs you hit to like build up the damage and everything to scar the Giant. I don't know. That's just my thought. So 1, 2 movement right now, right there for the Hide. And then I'm going to take my Momentum Blade and we're going to put that on the second row. That's going to give me the ability to move 2, which is 1 plus my breath, and this will give me 1, so I move 2, and wherever I land, I'll be able to do 3 damage. So I'll go 1, and then I have to go up. I can't go any further. And unfortunately, there's really nothing I can do. I wanted to get to B1, but I didn't want to, like, stand. Man, I should have just probably went here. Did 1, 2. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do 1, 2. Let's retcon our move a little bit. So we're going to start over here on B. I did activate the Treacherous Footing on this, so I think activating it early shouldn't be so bad. Technically, these are played before you do anything, so these 3 cards actually would get shuffled back into my deck, and that would be it. And then, again, during the refresh step, I would assume that's what it should be. I can only draw 4 cards instead of 5, or up to 4 cards. And then, of course, the Rage Tracker goes up. All right, so I definitely have nothing in my hand right now. Before we do anything else, now I'll do my Momentum Blade, so I'll move myself up to B1, and I will do 3 damage to that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 3 damage from my Leap of Faith. We're going to put that right over here on that card, because that's where I am. And then the Leap of Faith is going to activate, so then I'm going to jump to any foothold or the ground, and we're going to bounce right up here to A5. Now, this is open. Now I'm going to take wounds from the Giant and replenish them. So that's how wounds from here get back over here, and you can actually use multiple skills in a turn should you be able to empty out those columns like slowly, and then all at once. All right, so that is the end of the Adult Wraith's turn. Again, based off of touching the footing, this round I can only draw 4 cards, so that's exactly what I am doing. And then we will go from there. Like, there's ran into like all these weird circumstances right now that, you know, they feel like kind of edge case rules or whatever that normally you wouldn't run into while playing, but I don't know, it's just weird the way that that works out. Anyway, let's go up to the Giants cards. Kind of wish these things had individual names on them, just because it would be cooler to show kind of something that they're doing, like, you know, Typhoon Blast or something like that for this guy. If anywhere, which I am, oh god, drop 2 footholds and take 1 wound. If you cannot drop the full amount, move to the ground and take 2. Yeah. All right, so I have to drop 2, so I lost my grip doing that Leap of Faith, so I bounced down 2, which is fine. But now Wraith will take 1 wound on her. So this is done. That's gone. All of this moves over, And then again, ideally, you fold one down, and then that's it. And then everything activates. I really don't think that's how that's supposed to work. And if it is, it doesn't make any sense, because if you manage to completely wipe the row, you're only dealing one card down at the beginning of your turn. Maybe that one is so far away. I don't know. That just seems to drag the game on way too long. So I think that the high technique is something in order to get rid of cards up here. They're going to the bottom, so you're not losing time technically, but you're trying to avoid any upcoming really bad things. So in this case, I am going to draw 2. This is how I'm playing it. Again, just let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, but this makes sense to me, and this is kind of like how I see it without anything being written. And luckily for it all, we don't have any matching symbols. They're all different symbols. Oh, that's interesting. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play my Seeking Shot right here. This is a ranged attack that does damage equal to the amount of eyes in my row, which is 2, and then I move 2 upwards, or I do it in the opposite order, either way. But I am going to take my shot first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim at B1 over here. I'd like to try to get this down, or as far down as possible, but what I am going to do is I'm going to take those 2 wounds and I'm going to remove them from, remove them from force back. So this 3 I'm trading in for 3 singles, and I'm taking the 1 that was there and the 1 from here and putting that on to this card up here that I already did 3 wounds to. Now this will not refill until it's completely empty. So for right now, it is what it is. We are going to be able to move 1 space, or up to 2 spaces, I should say. And I'm just going to go ahead and move myself up to a 5 again. I would have liked to have been able to get up there to beat that a little bit better, but I'll be fine right there for right now. And then my second turn, we're going to take my practice hand, and that's going to do a damage equal to the amount of brains plus my hand skills. Unfortunately, I only have 1, so I'm going to go ahead and take a single point from here from force back and put that there. So now at least I know that won't trigger when it comes around. Foothold only happened for 1 turn, so let's go ahead and draw back up to 5. I'm getting a lot of attack cards early, so yeah, here comes all my mobility ones. You're upside down. You do have an attack on you, so that's at least good. Our Wraith does not have much handwork on her right now. All right, so I'm an A, so B and E, neither of that happens, so that is gone. He is mad that he didn't hit me that time, and I know that these next 2 cards will not trigger, so I got to figure out where I got to go, what I got to do, and defeat cards however I can. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the Swift Stride, which is going to enable me to fall any number and then climb. So as long as I go down, I'll be right. So I'm going to go all the way back down to here, and then I can climb. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 1 less. B2 is where I want to go to, because then I can climb up 1, and I'll be at B1. This way I can take the dash and slash right here, and I can do 2 straight damage to B1. So I'm going to again do that with force back here. So we'll take this 1. Let me divide that up. All right, so there's 2 left on force back to do a thing, and boom, put that right there. So now if I do 2 from force back, this actually will not leave the row, because it just cancels the giant's attack. I'm going to take these and just kind of replace it with a 3, so I don't. There we go, right there. So 3, 6, 7. I need to only do 2 damage to that anyway, so that's good. All right, perfect. I'm going to keep this practice leap because I'm going to really be able to get a lot of mobility out of that on both of my rows. I'm going to get rid of both of these climbs, so they're going to go to a discard pile I have off camera, and we'll go 4. Another leap. Wow, I got a lot of, like, just go where I want to abilities. 3, 2 attacks. Okay, cool. And then a quick shot. So that's good to have because it's a good range shot, and I don't think I have anything right now that I can really. My entire next turn might just be 2 swings. All right, so this doesn't matter. This goes away. It was hit, so A wouldn't matter. Mad, and boom, and boom. Let's flip. And white, so before that I did flip this last turn. White would have triggered, but it wouldn't matter because you had the white on, you had wounds on that. However, this one is going to trigger. If in C or E, I am in neither, so the giant is still very mad that everything he's doing is not hitting me. I'm actually going to buy myself around here. I'm going to use Strong Swing on both of these. They both have, yeah, we'll do that. We'll put some feet down on the bottom one just in case. So we're going to put that one up here, and we're going to put this one down here, and they both will do melee damage equal to the amount of hands within the row. So only 1 on each, and where I am only needs 2 hits in order to defeat it. So we're going to take the 2 from force back here. We're going to plop that there, and 3, 6, 9, boom, boom, boom. This one is defeated. So I'm actually going to remove all of these. And whoop, get back here and flip it over, showing the scar. Haha. And with force back activated, that means this round, the first giant card does not attack and a new card isn't drawn. So that card just stays there as far as I know of. Like, the only reason that they leave is because they attack. So that one is not attacking. Let's go ahead and refill. But 3, let's just do a lot of singles. 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Yep, there we go. So we got all of that back there, taken from the wounds, and let's keep going. I should have drawn up afterwards. I'm keeping my leaping attacks and everything just to, I got another quick shot. So it's 1, 2, wow. Wow, that's a good one right there. That's eyes and brains. Oh man, I gotta get myself into a position in order to nail something with that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and use, I'm going after C1, so this should be good. So we're gonna use the light stride. Gotta click that up here, and that's gonna give me leaping abilities, which are any up or down, equal to my foot, which is 3. I can go 1, 2, and I'll stay right here, because I wanna be adjacent to C1, because what I'm going to do then is I'm going to do practice aim. Oh my goodness, this is going to be crazy. And fire a long-range arrow, which is brains or intelligence, I guess it is, plus sight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of damage. Holy jeez. Firing off at C1. So I'm just going to kind of grab all this and leave 1 onto a force back and put them all right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, and so there you go. 6 damage on this one. Wow, what a hit. The quick shot will be perfect to use for my next turn because it'll do the 2 damage I need in order to take that thing out and scar the beast. So let's go ahead and do I want to keep it? I'm going to keep everything actually. That'll be fine. All right, so we got a jump slash. That is awesome. That's actually finally getting to the good cards. And then dive bomb, dropping down and doing explosive damage. Okay, so we know this is scarred, so that happens there. Nothing is attacked, so... Well, he didn't do an attack, so I don't think this would go up. It's if he tries to attack and he doesn't attack. It wasn't an attack. That was like a card that scarred him. Again, guys, let me know what you think, but that's just how I interpret it. And you're scarred, so you don't do anything. So yes, now it will go up. So that's going to be as high as it goes. If the beast ever hits me, I'm in for a world of hurt. All right, well, we know the first thing I'm doing is a quick shot. So we'll put that right up here. Keep this in the line so I can see all of my skills growing. Man, she's just archering it all over the place. Doing 2 damage over here. So I'm going to take 1 from force back. So we know that that's going to be, well, we know that it's going to like not move the giant at all. And I'm going to take 1 from moment of rest right here. So I can draw up the 3 cards if this ever empties. So with that said, this guy up here, he has taken 8, and we have officially scarred the air giant for a second time, which is awesome. We got some really good cards there in order to help us out. I think I'm going to start going after that card all the way at the end. So we're going to go ahead and play Jump Slash right there, which enables me to move up to my foot. This is leaping, so I go any direction I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, plenty, and then damage equal to my hands that I have, which is 2. So I am going to just go 1, 2 right up here. Keep in mind also, you can only travel on the paths that are connected by the dots. I think I actually forgot to mention that in the tutorial, but you can't go to any one of the coordinates that you want. You can only go to it by the ones that are connected. It's kind of an obvious rule. Figure if you're watching that, you get a good idea of that's exactly how it's supposed to be, but I didn't point it out before. It is mentioned in the rule book, so I figure I'd let you guys know right now that you have to stay on the... I couldn't go from like A4 to E4. There is no connection between them. I have to like go up and around, but I'm fine being here on A6. That will enable me to do 2 damage to that. So I'm actually going to take this 3 right here, break it up into 3 singles, and put 1, 2 on that one. I actually am going to refill this as well because the giant will not take a move this turn. All right, let me grab these. So we got 6 and number 7. Very good. Awesome. So he still has quite a bit of health, but we have to clear all of this out too because all of these do count as the giant's health. So regardless of anything, all of this here and in the wound section has to be cleared out before we do anything else. All right. With that said, we are at the end of Wraith's turn. The giant, I believe, skips this turn. Am I thinking too far ahead? No, yeah, they skipped this turn because I killed it with the quick shot. Yes, so I made the force back happen. So quick shot triggers this turn. Force back triggers this turn, so the giant won't do anything. So what do I want to get rid of? I'm going to get rid of Dive Bomb, and that's it. Redraw up to 3. Rocket Fury, Enhanced Climb, and Practice Climb. So a lot of climbing once again. We got a burst over here that would do damage equal to our mind, like our brain and everything. And right now we have 4 of those in this particular row. Oh man, to do a huge burst would be awesome, but I don't have enough weak points adjacent to this in order to justify using it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do a strong swing right now, which does damage equal to my hand value. So I'm going to do 3 damage to a 6, which is at where I am right now. And I am going to start removing. I'm going to take 2 from Leap of Faith, because remember, you can do this in any order you want from these things. So 2 from Leap of Faith, and I'm going to take 1 from Force Back. You know what? No, I'm going to take 1 from Patch Wound, just because if I do additional moves and I start wounding myself, then I can heal it using that ability. So these 3 that I took off of here, slap together for a 3, and we can put that right there. So 5 total damage out of 8 for this particular card. Problem is I really have no other things that I want to go to. I want to keep going at A6 there, but I feel like E's and some D's are going to come up. So I'm going to go ahead and just put Endurance Climb right here. It enables me to move. I'm only going to move up 1 space, but now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 hands within this column or within this row right here. So hopefully I'll get a pretty big melee attack and be able to whack something pretty hard, or at least that's the ultimate goal if I can keep things nice and lined up. All right, I don't need the Practice Climb because I seem to be getting around pretty well. Practice Leap I am going to keep because of the ability. I do like the Rocket Fury with that huge amount of power with that rocket, fireworks attack. So let's just keep going. 1, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. 2 and 3. Oh, yes. Oh, that's amazing. All right, Mr. Giant. You got scarred again. All this moves down. We do replenish. That blue symbol, which is right here, that is B/C. I am A7, so that is good. I don't have anything else triggering. Fantastic. All right, I'm going to wound myself for 1 so I can do my fearless action of dropping down a space. So we're going to go back down to A6, and I'm going to use my Rocket Fury just because I have a better plan that I want to use for my Falling Blade. Literally going to do that. We're going to put this right here. And so this means that I would be able to move up 1, and then I can also do a fire burst attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, which is crazy. Unfortunately, attached to this spot right here is A5, D1, and A7, all of which that do not appear on there, and I only need 2 damage. I can only use 2 damage, I should say, from the pool in order to hit the 1 card in order to defeat it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab these 2 right here. We're going to plop them on top of that card. And boom, boom, boom. That is scar number 3 finished off. We just have to scar this creature 1 more time in order to defeat it. Next, we're going to use Falling Blade. And what this does is it gives me a drop ability. And drops can be as much as we want. And then I melee attack whatever space I'm in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. I don't want to put myself in this foothold, even though I would love to be able to nail that or like whatever. And 3 is going away really soon. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fall down to C1, which is coming. There is a generic C that I can attack, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen. And we will put all 5 damage on that. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'll take... we'll take 1 from... Yeah, we'll take both of these. That's fine. No, I'm going to take 1 from Moment of Rest as well. So there you go. So that's 5 damage right here that we're going to put onto this card. So that nails that very well. Moment of Rest will enable me to draw 3 additional cards into my hand. So we can go 1, 2, and try not to Get these off camera. 3. All right, got some firestorms and long-range attacks and things along that ways. I can then dump some of these in order to try to cycle in to gain hopefully a melee attack or two to really finish off that scar. There we go. And then patch wounds, which enables me to remove 2 wounds from Wraith, healing her up. Now we can take from over here and reset. So 3, 6, and over here is 3, 4. So there's only 3 more wounds left within the pool. Basically, the way it works is that if you empty it out, you fill it up to as much as you can, if there's not that many in the pool, and then once it runs out and you can't refill it with wounds from the giant, then you can't use the ability again. So it limits you near the end to what you can use, but you can use as many times as you want if you manage to do as many wounds as you can. All right, once again, I can get rid of stuff in order to be able to do things. So I'm actually going to get rid of these 3 cards right here. Move these over. I still get to draw up to 5 because it is the refresh era, or refresh, what is it? Refresh phase, step, whatever. Draw a number of cards up to your brain value. Only refill your hand during the refresh step if you have fewer than 5 cards in hand. Yeah, exactly. That's how I figured that worked. Here's the problem. This card is going to hit me because I am in C. If this card has at least 1 wound on it, adjacent cards deal that, so it does not. However, I am in C, so not only do I lose 3 cards, but all of this now triggers. So I'm losing 3 cards. I am stunned. So that means whatever card I play on top doesn't do anything. I drop down a spot. The foothold doesn't trigger because it's when I end my movement. I mean, I can drop down to C3 if I want, or I can just drop down to the ground too. I may end up doing that. So it's 1, I'm just going to kind of go through this. 1, 2 are gone. Let me shuffle up my discard pile. Okay, so this is number 3 gone from the attack. I will drop in a moment. That is 1 damage here. That's another card gone. That's another damage here. That's another card gone. How many do I have left? I have 4. I have 4 left in my draw pile. Oh boy, that's tough. And again, I got to drop down. So I'm just going to drop all the way down to the ground and trying to work my way up. Now remember, whatever I play first isn't even going to activate, and that's going to be terrible. All right, so this is gone. These all move down. We got 1 more here. If C or D, either way it doesn't work because I'm on the ground. It would specify ground, so there we go. Oh man, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta do 6 damage to this thing in order to win. Opportune Strike would have been great to use because I could have thrown 2 damage on it. All right, so again, whatever I place in the first one isn't going to matter because I'm not going to be able to do anything. So I'm just going to take this Firestorm and I'm going to place it right here to at least build up those additional icons in order to be able to do something. Now I'm going to go ahead and practice Leap to get myself back up to where I need to be, and that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we'll do that. Right here on A. So I am now adjacent to C1, and hopefully next turn I can do a massive amount of damage in order to take this thing out. I'm not drawing anything else, so I'm not tossing anything. I'm just making sure I have enough cards in my hand to have the stamina I need in order to win this. All right, C and E, I am in neither. That's why I stopped at A, so this is gone. This is it. This is our last turn. If we don't do this here and this moves, I don't think I'll have enough cards in order to maintain it, and nothing else triggers because I'm in A, so this possibly could have triggered and would have hurt me even more with 2 cards gone. Oh man, that would have been terrible. But ultimately, we are in a much better position here, so I'm going to go ahead and basically win this. So we have a skilled shot right here. I'm aiming at C1. It's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage, which is exactly what that card needs in order to be scarred. So I'm going to go ahead and take 4 from here and 1 from here. So that's the 5 I need. Opportune Strike could trigger. So this, because it's taken, the way it works is Opportune Strike, you take damage from the wounded section on the boss. I could take 2. Overkill. You can't overkill. I'm just doing this anyway. You can't do this. I just want to do it because I want this guy to go down and feel satisfied about it. Well, I can put it on any giant card. So I actually just put 2 damage here just for the heck of it because I did the Opportune Strike. So there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Oh, I needed one more. Okay, yeah, fine. Opportune strike, 11. Boom, whatever. I must have miscounted that. Whatever. I had enough. I had more than enough in order to be able to take him down, to do all of those wounds. The opportune strike is what needed it. Boom! To put the 4th scar on the wind. As a fan of Inuyasha, having a wind scar is something that brings a smile to my face and makes me laugh. Otherwise, our Adult Wraith has vanquished the air giant. She has now defended her village twice so far, both times coming very close to the end. I had 2 cards. 2 cards left here, so I would have drawn 1. No, I would have drawn 2. That would have been it, because I would have needed to play something on this side, which probably would have been this in order to do more shots. Drawn these 2, and then on my next turn, if I couldn't do anything else, I would have to play 2 cards, and then after that, if I go to draw, she would have been knocked out. So I really literally only had that turn, and that was it in order to be able to take this gusty beast down. However, now that we have defeated the wind giant with the Adult Wraith, we can take a breather for 23 years or so. I feel like a lot more than that passes, because now we are going from our adulthood in our prime to an elderly state as a giant beast made of flame rises from the ground. Let's see where their story is, and I will set this all up. Elder Wraith. The days of relying on blade and bow are behind you. They are still the tools of the Wraith, but experience has unlocked other implements within you to bring about the ends of the giants. The very magics that hold your enemies together as titans of the elements are no longer a mystery to you. The end of your Wraith's journey may be waiting in these, your sunset years, but you will not be done until the village is safe. Your long years of protecting your people have awakened you to rare, mystic gifts of the Wraith. Your sword arm is not as strong as it once was, and you have traded the muscle-aching pull of your old bow for a simple crossbow. But what age has taken from your physicality is made up for you by your mystic arts. The giants will be stopped, and your magic can be the key. The Fire Giant. Since it sparked to life and became mankind's first elemental tool, fire has both mystified and terrified. The Fire Giant is the personification of the fear and loss and pain that flames and heat have summoned across the generations. Encased in a shell of eternally churning magma, nothing gets near this titan without some kind of mystic protection against the inferno. The Fire Giant is a volcano on 4 legs, stomping and burning a path of molten death everywhere it awkwardly goes. Rivers of lava flow onto the ground beneath it, falling in fiery ribbons anywhere its shifting stone shell cracks or opens. Yawning mouths and open talons erupt with flame and intense heat, turning everything to ash or fuel for the Fire Giant. My goodness, this thing is nasty, and we haven't even gotten around to seeing what it can do yet. So as you can see here, our Fire Giant is actually a horizontal giant rather than the board being up this way. It's along the side. We got 4 different paths that we can start from down here. So we'll just have our Elder Wraith start somewhere down in the fiery pits below. And as per usual, we're going to go ahead and take our footholds here. I'm going to shuffle them, and I'm only going to take the top 3 again, because this is the first time I've ever fought the Fire Giant, so I really don't know exactly what it is that I'm in for here. So this could end very bad depending on how things go. And we will take whatever this is. So B3, all right, so let's see. B3, which is right in the center. Of course it is. C4, again, another main point, as if it wouldn't be anything different. And A3. So basically anything up in here. Fun. If I happen to end my movement on any one of these, I would move to an adjacent foothold, I would take a wound, and I would move the rage tracker up 1. So that's really not so bad. It's just taking a wound. The problem is that our Wraith, being an elderly Wraith, can only have 5 damage done to her. Oh joy. All right, so let's go ahead and take these up here. So just giving it one last little quick shuffle. Come back here, all of those things. Whatever. Just I'm trying to look at the screen and do it at the same time, so I kind of messed up where that went, but that's all right. 1. Wow, that's a lot of damage. 2. 3, if anywhere. I hate that other one. 4 and 5. So we got 2 things right here that are always active. So he has 2 different passives on these. This one is weak spots adjacent to this card deal 2 fewer wounds when attacked by a bow. So if I try to attack either of these with a bow, it does 2 fewer wounds than what I was going to do on it. And all fearless actions deal 2 wounds instead of 1 to you. So if I take a fearless action, I have to lose 2 health instead of 1, which again is really bad for my Elder Wraith because, well, she doesn't have much on her to begin with. Oh man, this guy's going to be something for sure. All right, so our Elder Wraith over here, as I mentioned before, has only 5 health to her, and she adds 25 health to the giant. That is ridiculous. The fire giant already starts with a 45 health pool, plus 25. We have 70 health in order to tear through, in order to extinguish this thing. But she also has the same thing that the Adult Wraith have with all of her special skills right here. So as I do damage to the cards, the wounds are taken from here, added to the cards, reduced down, and then they activate certain things. Force back is something I'm definitely going to want to do as soon as possible. But her special ability comes in the form of her magic skill. So if I go ahead and deal out these first 5 cards here, you can actually see that each one of them has a magic on the bottom. These magic skills can be activated depending on if she is in a certain location. So for example, Skilled Shot here, yes, she can do a ranged attack of the normal adjacency range attack for however many eyes are in her area. But if she happens to also be on an E spot, any E, I can remove a wound from the Wraith and place it on a weak point of your choice. So she can take one of her thing, Pain Transfer, one of her damage, and put it onto one of the giants, which is awesome. So just going across here, you can see all these different spells that she has. So I mentioned the Pain Transfer, Teleport. If I landed on a 2, I can move to any foothold with a 2 in it. Focus Shift, if I'm on an A, then I can swap the location of 2 cards in this row with the same number from another row. That's pretty much your action cards. You can switch cards around in order to put symbols in certain areas, which will make things more advantage. Chain Lightning, 1 wound for each spot for each magic symbol. So that's brand new for her now. So now we get the last one as well. Each card may only gain 1 wound this way, so that's pretty good right there. And then minor loop, if I'm on a D, perform the action on the last play card in the opposite row without activating its spell. So you just activate the top half. All right, then let's go ahead and get this started. I think I'm going to go ahead and do Levitation first. We're going to put that up there. That will give me a movement of my magic plus my breath, which is only 1, which is fine. I'm going to start off by just moving up to C1. She doesn't move very far. She doesn't have much movement to her at all. And with these 3 bad footholds up here, it's not going to really be very helpful of getting higher up. But I have 2 C cards within the lineup already, a generic C and C2. So I think for right now, I'm going to go ahead and use the Skilled Shot on my second action, which is going to do damage equal to my eye to something that's adjacent. I'm going to take 1 from Force Back and blast that onto just C2, just because it's the next one on the list. I could have hit this one as well because it's just a C card. I can hit anything C at all, but maybe if I get a burst ability coming up, that'll be really good. So that's how I'm playing that. Recall Location, which I have right here, has move a number of cards equal to your intelligence value from the Giant's row to the bottom of the Giant's deck. Remove their wound tokens from the game. Pretty much like Hide. I think she even has a Hide card in here as well. I'm going to say it plays the exact same way. Again, you guys let me know if that's how it is or not. If it really does shorten the Giant's chain of cards up there for the entire game, because that doesn't make any sense to me. I just think it's just for that particular row or round as things come back on. But I'm actually just going to dump this one into my discard pile. We'll move these over. Let's regain 3 more. Practice Leap. Firestorm. That's really cool with a teleport. That's awesome. It's actually something I probably might play next turn. And then we have Path Climb. If on a 3, this is on a 3, this is on a 2, this is in a C. I'm on a C. Move up the 4 wounds from one weak spot to another. That's just transferring around things on the board. So there you go. All right, Fire Giant attempts to attack. It does not because I am neither in D nor E, so it is mad about that. So it's actually starting right there on that first one. Everything moves down. We have a lot of different symbols here, so we'll see what we get. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Both of these activate. Uh-oh. Oh goodness. Weak spots adjacent to the card deal 2 fewer damage to ranged attack wounds. So that's bad in its own. Wait a minute. Oh man, so you know what the problem is? This actually doesn't even take a damage because it's weak spots adjacent to this card are dealt 2 fewer wounds when attacked by range. So I attack that with range. That wouldn't matter anyway. So, oh man, so that's got to go back. So that was a waste of a turn. Remove 2 cards and take 2 damage. I can already tell this is going to be so hard. So 1, 2 gone, and 2 out of my 5 to the Elder Wraith. And then this says, remove the top card from the Giant's deck from the game. That does activate, so that basically speeds up the clock, and I don't know what that is. And then 2 more wounds. Fantastic. Hooray, I am 4 out of 5 already beaten. Oh, gee, ow. All right, so we're going to do practice aim right here. It's not going to work because normally it's a ranged attack that does damage plus targeting or eyesight, whatever. So we'll do 2 damage to C2. Unfortunately, because of that 1 card, I am not able to do that because I'm hitting it with a ranged attack. However, I am now able to chain lightning. If I'm on a 1, which I am, I can add 1 wound to each weak spot for each magic in this row. Each card may only gain 1. And so I don't die, I'm going to put that weak point right here on this one because it's not dealt through range means, it's through magic means of sorts. And so now this will actually not trigger once it's the Giant's turn, because if it does, it would have killed me because I'm only 1 wound away from dying. And then I'm going to go ahead and play Practice Leap. That'll give me, what is that? 1 movement for every mind and foothold or foot that I have. So that's 2, and I'll move myself up to C3 right here because I can use this for that 1 card that just hits all generic Cs. Okay, so with that said, we have all of this here. As much as I would love to use Firestorm at some point, I'm in a point where I can't hit anything for more than 2, so that's not going to really help me. This has 3 symbols on it, so I'm actually going to toss these 2, and then we'll replenish from there. So 1, hey, there's a nice offensive card. 2, 3, and 4. So that'll do a melee attack where I am based off of hands, and then it'll do a ranged attack based off of the eyes. So that's not bad at all. All right, so we know that this will not deal any damage, so we can take that and remove it. This will go up. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I actually forgot to remove. Oh man, that Fatal Fury should have been. All right, well, I did it now, so I apologize. So I should have removed 1 from here because he was already enraged. But he's now back to being enraged on the first run. Let's move that over because those cards hit me. That would have actually caused the additional effect. So anything with that symbol? Oh, these have double symbols on them. Oh no, they have double. Okay, well, this has been fun. So our Elderly Wraith has been burned alive, apparently. This is yellow. This is triggering, always active, blah, 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 blah. If an A and B, then 2 damage and remove a card. So I removed 1 card, I had 2 damage dealt to me. Elderly Wraith has unfortunately been smothered within the fires of the Fire Giant without even getting too deep into her deck. Oh man. I'm just kind of curious. Did I have anything in here? Like some of the cards were like healing, but like Focus Shift, Second Breach, shuffle 2 Wraith cards that have been removed from the Giant back into your deck. Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. This Giant keeps removing stuff, Dazzling Light. So this Wraith is extremely strategic in terms of how to play and when you got to play it, because there are things that she can't do as an Elder Wraith. Just these seem to be a little bit weaker in contrast because there are more symbols spread out amongst all other spots as opposed to like Young Wraith, which was all like hands, or like Adult Wraith, who was all moving. She is intelligence and magic, which is really cool. And really something you got to play with in order to figure it out more. But hey, I like that so far. That was awesome. Our poor Elderly Wraith has bit the dust in this case. Maybe in your game, you'll be able to go in and save your village. But for right now, we are a smoldering pile of ash. To say the least, just how strong this is. This is like your strongest combination as well within the game. Keep that in mind. You know, you have your hardest version of the Wraith against the hardest possible Giant you're going up against. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing this, you know, just with this as well. This was, again, the first time I ever did this. I wasn't expecting it to go well at all. We didn't even scar the Giant at all, and he just came in and wrecked us. But I definitely am going to be trying this again because I really want to be able to beat it and just kind of learn how to work with the Elder Wraith a little bit better. But otherwise Guys, thank you so much for going on this journey from Adult Wraith to Elder Wraith to Dead in Wrath of the Giants. Again, a solo hero series game, the latest one that has been released from Renegade Studios. If this is something that you're interested in, you'd like to pick it up for yourself, or even just kind of take a look at the site and, you know, read through what Renegade has on it, there are links to this down in the description section below. Those are affiliate links, so if you use them in order to make the purchase, that is a huge, huge thank you and a huge help for the channel by far. Otherwise, that you can just be you and just be awesome in everything. As I always say, no matter what you do, your view, your like, your share, your comments, all of that go a long way in order to helping the Home Gamer Dad grow. In addition to that, there will be one more episode of Wraith and the Giants coming out, where I will be showing off the new Dawn expansion, the new character that you have, the new giant that you go up against, and maybe that one will go a little bit better than this one. In order not to miss that, be sure you are subscribed to the Home Gamer Dad. I went through all of that other stuff already about supporting the channel and blah, blah, blah. I did it a little out of order because it's like, man, I'm still trying to think about ways that I should have done things or played cards or things along that ways. But, you know, it is what it is. I'll reset. I'll give this a try off camera again. But until then, thank you all so much. Take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together. Until the next time, you all take care, and I will see you later.